Hello and welcome to Movie Mayhem here at Suspiria Works Cinema, where we watch all the movies. This is part 3 of our director series on Bruno Mattei. This time we have Sexy Night Report from 1977. This starts a series of 3 movies where he was doing these Mondo sex films, which I guess the best way to explain them is you take something like a Faces of Death, which is shot like a documentary of death scenes, and they use some real footage, which is, genuine documentary style footage, and then they blend those in with, fabricated scenes to create scenarios that aren't really going to happen or would be hard to film or in some cases completely illegal to film. And you get a vignette of TNA with various situations. This is something you might have seen like on a late night Cinemax, a lot of TNA. This one in particular is too hard to have been shown in the States for sure, which is why the only version I have is a bootleg from a letterboxed VHS print. I got this one from Cinema de Bazaar. It's a nice transfer. It's just on a DVD-R. But, again, there's no official release of this movie that I've ever seen. If there is, I'll gladly pick that up too. The movie stars Laura Gemser, who you might know as Black Emanuelle. She was in several films during this time period with Bruno Mattei as well as Joe D'Amato. The Italians shared her, much like, Holland and Franco would share a lot of actresses on the French side, French and Spanish side, and the Italians did a lot of this co-op type of directing during this time period. D'Amato is credited with directing some of the scenes in this movie, which I'm guessing are maybe some of the harder porn stuff, because Mattei never really did actual hard pornography, whereas D'Amato has a long history of doing a lot of hardcore pornography. So you have the lovely Laura Gemser, topless, introducing a slew of vignettes throughout the entire movie. The concept of the movie is sexual aberrations or aberrant behavior throughout the world. And she takes us on a journey to witness each of these little scenarios. She fills the wraparound quite nicely. She does some dressing and undressing, looking pretty. The film is shot fairly well. It's got some nice lighting. Since it's all vignetted, you get completely, wildly varying quality of film. And you can tell there's some that were obviously shot by completely different crews. But overall, it's nice. And if you like Laura Gemser, obviously it's nice watching her do the little introductions. The version I have is Italian only. There might be a dub out there in English, but again, who cares? My Italian's okay, so I can make it through what they were trying to say, but I think honestly, even if you watch it with the sound off, you shouldn't have much of an issue understanding the movie. So, in order to review this, since it's not an actual film with a story, I have to kind of resort to listing off what happened, since it's just a bunch of unrelated vignettes that have something to do with sex. So, we're kind of going to go down them that way in the order that I saw them, and we'll see where that takes us. The first scenario you have is some kind of safari setting. The girl's got the little safari hat on with the shade that goes down around your neck. She does some dancing and then a striptease, and then pulls out a sleeping bag, crawls into the sleeping bag, and then goes to sleep. There's a little audience around, sitting around her watching. A little strange way to start off. And then a gorilla comes out from behind the curtain. It's a guy in a gorilla suit or a Sasquatch. He kind of looks like a Sasquatch to me. He comes out, picks her up, and they start kissing, and then she bangs the gorilla man. It's pretty funny to look at. The costume's not bad, actually. It makes no sense whatsoever. Not erotic. Again, this is the type of movie you watch with a bunch of friends and just start drinking hard fast, and you should have a good laugh. And they go to Hong Kong, and we're in the 70s, so we watch the horribly deviant behavior of lesbianism, and that really is the context of the scene. That is the sexual aberration they're showing. It's just a all-female strip club in Hong Kong. You see girls stripping, dancing, kissing each other, blah blah blah. Again, a lot of TNA. I mean, that's what it is, and it is kind of hokey the way everything is portrayed. So, entertaining in that alone. We'll cut to another vignette where a girl, again in some type of strip club, receives a package. It looks like it's a weird sterile environment. There's a big pink box. She opens the box, and it's a dog. She got a Labrador, I think. Video's quality is kind of hard to see, so it's a bit tough to tell. And as you can imagine, she plays with the Labrador, massages the Labrador, loves the Labrador. And then again, they cut away. The cuts are kind of awkward. I can't tell. I think it's another dog that comes in. It looks like a German Shepherd, which comes in. She sits down, and then the Shepherd eats her out. And we cut away. That's all you get. Some strange bestiality going on. And Gimser is, between every scene, Gimser talks and introduces you and talks a little bit about it. And she's very calm and very matter-of-the-fact narrating this documentary-style show, so that's entertaining in and of itself. Then you go to a scene where it's a girl stripping in like a glass room, typical of your 70s style window strip clubs, and she does some glass pressing, invites a man in for sex. They do some silly softcore 70s sex, and everybody watches, the public sex thing being the gimmick there. Next up is a brothel where the man goes in and the girl takes out some roller skates. He seems oddly aroused by these roller skates. Cut to two naked people roller skating at a roller skating rink. They skate around, falling over a bunch, which, I roller skated as a kid, and if you fall down, it hurts. It's not very friendly, and especially on the, you rub on that on the roller skate rink floor, it pulls your skin, and they're naked, falling down a lot. It don't seem to matter. Maybe they were high. And, of course, eventually they have sex on the floor in their roller skates. Again, I gotta stress the need to be drinking during this movie, or otherwise you're not gonna make it through, or you'll just go crazy, because it's really stupid. Next up is a magic show. Got a magician with his assistant. He does some fancy magic tricks to the onlookers, and bam, she's naked. Whatever, right? We expect that. So it continues on. He does another magic trick. This time we're led up with the big drum roll, and bam! She has a penis. Now it's a fairly brilliantly prosthetic penis glued onto this girl. It looks completely absurd. And this is a documentary, so we're supposed to be led to believe this is real, and the audience touches it in awe. Whatever. Cut to India, where a Raj of some sort he has like it's not a harem, it's just a room with a bunch of men and various women, and he directs these women to be blindfolded and stripped down, and then one of his male servants, he instructs him to come over and perform. The male servant has sex with the woman, and as he reaches orgasm, the Raj looks over at one of his guards, who whips out a sword and chops the dude's head off. Now, you don't see the head in this instance, but he does kill him, and it's pretty suggestive that he just chopped his head off. And this apparently is a normal thing that happens in India, according to the lovely hostess. If you've seen any of the Mondo Khan films, it's the same type of reality that we're dealing with there. It's like they take some absurd thing that probably really did happen in some form, maybe twisted, you know, over the years of telling tales, and present it as if this is a common occurrence in this country. Another cool vignette that we go to is in Africa. It's got a English-speaking crew secretly filming from the bushes with their, you know, a full-on film camera, and like they're gonna do animal photography. They're all camouflaged and hidden, and the guy's describing that they're going to come soon in their natural environment, and down come some Africans in this weird little camp, which doesn't look anything like a native African camp. Even in the 70s, it looks like there's a tent there and other things, and some of the tribal people are very well groomed. I mean, one of the tribesmen has a nice medium-sized afro, very well picked, not matted at all. He's got a smooth, nicely trimmed beard, you know, like all native Africans who don't wear clothes would have. And they grab some guys and beat them, and they're being punished. They said they're being punished for something they did wrong. Again, I kind of lost some of the translation here. And then they're tied up and against these poles, and the leaders dance around them, slashing at their chest, cutting them, and then they grab their dicks and chop them off. Because this always happens, right? And this is, you know, obviously a sexual aberration. You know it's not real. It's a nice special effect. I mean, it's done well, similar to how it was done in the dozens of cannibal movies that came out in the 70s. But it's random and strange. There's a few of the segments that are really nothing more than just strip teases. Fairly softcore. One of them even, she only strips down to her panties and dances around for a while, and that's it. There's several of those kind of interspliced throughout. There's another scenario where there's a woman teaching a group of students, and they're all adults, about sex, and this really creepy blow-up doll, and you know, she's showing them how to use a dildo, a dick pump, and then she instructs one of the men how to have sex with a woman and where to put it, and he kind of has sex with the blow-up doll. It's a little strange. It almost reminds me of the sex ed scenario in Meaning of Life. Without the intended humor, this is just funny because it's so completely absurd. They go to a brothel in Holland where it has a girl's mother who is prostituting out her very young daughter. They explain that it is illegal in this country, and you know, this teenage girl is having sex with this old man. Now, the teenage girl, of course, first of all, she's taller than the guy that she's with, and she's easily 25 at the youngest. But you know, it's, I guess in a mockumentary of this type, it works for what it is. It's showing an aberrant behavior of some kind, but again, more laughable than serious, and that's really the entire movie is meant to be laughed at. Again, don't be sober. One of the scenes is we come to a giant arena where Omar, the world's greatest lover, is performing, and there's a giant, you know, bed on this stage, and Omar appears, and there's a scorecard it starts with Omar 0, women 0, and women line up to have sex with Omar, and he just keeps having sex, and it goes through this beautiful, like, training montage of Omar having sex with the women. It flashes to the audience having awe. Up to the scoreboard as Omar racks up the points. At around 30, Omar apparently has a heart attack. They cart him off the bed, and the audience starts throwing trash and booing and everything, and they drag him off. I have no idea what they were thinking with that scene, but that's definitely a good one. Another one, there's a girl with ping pong balls. She keeps stuffing ping pong balls up her and shooting them out and dropping them on the camera. And this, oddly, the last like 3 or 4 segments are weird. They're just random dancing in different countries. It's girls, not even strip teases. And the very last part is just a cabaret dance. Now, a covered cabaret dance. They're not even topless. It's just cabaret dancing for the last 4 minutes or so of the movie, and then fade to black. So, so there you have it. I mean, this is Sexy Night Report. I don't know much more what to say about it. If you want to have a good time, line up some shots or a bunch of beers, watch it with a bunch of people, and laugh your ass off. This is, again, Mattei doesn't credit himself with this movie. You know, even as a director, it's a money thing. You know he was doing it for the money. It was spliced together by the studio with some footage D'Amato had shot, and, you know, Mattei had been in charge of doing the overarching plot. I'm sure he did all the wraparounds with Gimzer. So, you know, how do you rate this type of movie? As a Mondo sex film, I would probably give it a decent rating, because most of them aren't very good, and this one at least was entertaining. I wasn't bored. The scenarios are extremely short and fast, so you get through them really quick. You know, as an actual film, obviously it's just garbage. So, given for what it is, I'm going to give Sexy Night Report a 6 out of 10. And that is based on its entertainment value. It is funny. It's absurd and ludicrous. And, of course, you get to look at Laura Gimzer. So that always gives it an extra point. This is a pirate. So the bootleg quality of this, it's okay. It is letterbox, so you get the nice aspect ratio. Audio synced up okay. Tracking errors here and there. You know, for a bootleg, I'll probably stick with a nice 6.5 out of 10 for bootleg quality. It's much better than the last one I reviewed. That was a piece of junk and professionally released. This is a bootleg, and it's way better than that mess. So, there you have it. Sexy Night Report. Look forward to seeing you for part 4 of our series on Bruno Mattei, another one of his exciting Mondo sex films. So, be sure to like the video, share it, give some comments, anything else you want to see, and we'll see you next time here at Movie Mayhem.